A yellow maize is planted and all the fruit obtained are of yellow seeds. When they are crossbred, yellow seeds and white seeds are obtained in a ratio 3:1. The yellow seed is said to be a dominant trait. Okay, you can see this maize. You can see this maize. The yellow seeds are far more compared to the white ones. So you can see the yellow color is dominant. When a colorblind man marries a carrier woman, what is the probability that their offspring being colorblind? What is the probability of their offspring being colorblind? The correct option here is 50%. I actually use age to represent color blindness. Actually used to represent hemophilia. Conventionally, H is used to represent hemophilia. So if you look at this, when you are solving a question on sex-linked characters, of course, you use the X chromosomes. For the man, it is XY, and use this to represent a man who is a sufferer, who is affected. So I use XY with the small letter. It is the recessive gene that codes for the disease. Color blindness is the recessive gene. So I use a small h to represent the allele for color blindness. So the capital H represents the allele for normal vision. So the mother is a carrier. So remember, females are XX in terms of X chromosomes, in terms of the sex chromosomes. So because she's a carrier, she is X small h, X capital H. So if you cross them using this Punnett square that I use, you will see that among the offspring, half are affected, half will be colorblind. You can see this daughter is normal, but this other daughter is affected, is a sufferer. This boy, this son is normal, but this son is affected. So 50% of the offspring will be colorblind. So correct option here is B. The correct base pairing of DNA is adenine pairing with thymine and guanine pairing with cytosine. So 43, the correct option is A. So there are the 4 bases in DNA, 4 nitrogenous bases in DNA: adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. So A pairs with T, G pairs with C. Okay, so adenine pairs with thymine, guanine pairs with cytosine. The type of interaction, 44, the type of interaction shown is referred to as, I'm looking at this graph, is interspecific competition. They are competing, they are not of the same species. You can see P. aurelia, P. caudatum, they are not of the same species. When there's competition between organisms that are not of the same species. That's interspecific competition. If they are of the same species, we call it intraspecific competition, but they are not of the same species, so that's interspecific competition. Okay, and so that's the type of interaction going on there. So for the correct option is A. Which of the following statements is true of the interaction? So both organisms cannot coexist. They are competing with each other, so they can't coexist. The correct option is C. The short thick beak in birds is an adaptation for crushing seeds. It's an adaptation for crushing seeds. 46 is A. It's an adaptation for crushing seeds. You can see that in the fowl. And when you look at them, you see different type of beak shape. And the different beak shapes are adapted for different feeding habits. So this short thick beak is for crushing seeds. The ones that suck nectar, you will see their long, slender beak, okay, for sucking nectar, like this hummingbird. I can see the hummingbird with the long, slender beak for sucking nectar. Okay, the ones that tear flesh, they have their curved beak, okay, like that of the eagle and kite. Okay, they are carnivorous. They use that for tearing flesh. Okay, so we'll move on to question 47. The best skin of agama lizard in the sun is to raise their body temperature to be active. Lizards, just like other reptiles, are poikilothermic. They can't maintain a constant body temperature. So what they do is to expose themselves to the sun to raise their body temperature so that their metabolic rate can be high enough for them to be active. Okay, so 47, the correct option is B. The significance of a very large number of termites involved in nuptial swarming is to ensure their perpetuation despite predatory pressure. So 48 is B. The correct option is B. You know, in the termite colony, the wing reproductives will fly out in what we call the nuptial flight. So they fly out to mate. When they land, they lose their wings, they mate, the male and the female, and then each pair of male and female moves to form another colony. But why they lose their wings, why they land to mate, they can be attacked by different kind of predators. So that they have to move in large numbers. so that at the end of the day, some of them will survive. So they have to survive the predatory pressure. So 48 is B. The use and disuse of body parts and inheritance of acquired traits were used to explain Lamarck's theory of evolution. So 49 is B. Lamarck's theory of evolution. It's actually called the theory of use and disuse of body parts. Because it's saying that the more you use a part of the body, the more that part of the body becomes more developed and efficient. But if you don't use it, it becomes less developed, and after some time it can even lose the function to become non-functional. So that's the theory of use and disuse of body parts by Lamarck. Of course, he used the giraffe. The reason why the modern day giraffes have long neck, because at a point they were stretching their neck to get leaves from trees. As a result of stretching their neck developed and became longer. Okay, so and they passed on the long neck to their offspring. That's Lamarck's theory of use and disuse. Lamarck's theory of evolution. Of course, you know that the first part of the theory, that we can get a part of the body more developed by frequently using it, is correct. Yeah, but passing that to the offspring is not correct. So that part of Lamarck's theory is not accepted, that if you acquire a trait from the environment, you can transfer it to your offspring. That is not correct. So that part of his theory is not accepted. So but that is his theory anyway, the use and disuse of body parts, Lamarck's theory. So the correct option here is B. From a study of Galapagos finches, Darwin derived his theory of evolution from comparative anatomy. If you look at the beak of the finches, he was able to state that these finch birds were able to develop different beak types because of the different type of foods they feed on, or different ways of feeding. So he compared their beak types to state his theory of natural selection. So thank you very much for listening.